Let me see. We had a cancellation at the last minute, so this will give us a chance to spend quite some time together this morning. So you have to put up with me here. I've literally got stacks to go through, but I really would like to catch up with you because you guys are really putting in some great questions. And not that I can answer everything on the planet, but boy, I sure try as much as I know, to cover this with you. And I really appreciate your concerns and all your activities you're doing on yourselves. And I love it all. I can't say enough about you guys. I feel a real good bond with all of you guys. Are really doing a great job. So keep it up. And I'm just going to kind of wake up by tearing into these things, so to speak, here. And I went over these last night till late, and so I'm just wanted to highlight some of the areas so when I go through them here. But boy, do I appreciate it, and I hope you all are doing well. I don't know when Chris is going to get this up. I know he's about 3 behind right now. He was 3 behind yesterday. I think he got 1 up, and then I did 1 yesterday morning. So we'll see where we are with this. So I hope you get it sooner than later. So let me start going through these for you guys, and really appreciate it again, all your work that you're doing on yourself. This is Melanie, 25-year-old Swedish lady, Miss Ross, Sweden. Go, go, go. She had low white blood cell count. And then she started working with picking nettles, and suddenly the white blood cell count came up. Now, I don't know what relationship nettles would have with that. Again, there was a comment made here, which I really loved that comment about the herbs and the fact that herbs have many purposes we don't even know. Nettles is a homeostatic. It stops bleeding. I definitely have it in my kidney formulas because it promotes urination. It reduces swelling. Stinging nettles has always been great for skin conditions and toxic poisons and things like this. But I don't think there's enough said about nettles. Nutritionally, it's very high. It just, it's good for everything. It's high in iron. And so maybe there is some link there. I can't tell you about that. When I look at low white blood cells, I'm looking at spleen or I'm looking at the bone marrow. And any tissue that you're having problems with, you always know you're going to go right back to the lymphatic system, because even if these are genetic weaknesses, that's the system that you have to invigorate. That's the system that is the most problematic. That's the system that actually is the causative factors genetically. Rarely is it at the blood. And even if it is, to get to the lymph, you've got to eat the foods that clean up the blood. And then the herbs that clean up the lymph system definitely clean up the blood. So how simple and how beautiful this is. And I'm seeing a lot of you guys really catching this, realizing the simplicity of it. And there was a comment, I can't remember, it was Owen or JG or whatever, about the the simplicity and the intellectualism of the allopathic community, and how that's actually created so much more problems that we face, and locked us in some real serious issues here. But let me see, they did the bone marrow test, which is what they would have done when you're low white blood cells. I thought that was interesting about the nettles. So you have to see. I find if that's true, that's fascinating. So what I'm going to do for you is that we have a lot of people come in here with low white blood cell count. And so I'm going to experiment with nettles and see if that does. I think that would be a tremendous find, if that was true, because we have so many people with that issue. And you would think that if that's increases bone marrow function, that'd be outstanding. I just think this is how herbology's won. And I think that's why, think of millions of people using botanicals and learning and finding about them. Now, I use formulas, which for me, it's more powerful, as you guys have seen, but I still lose the individuality in the sense that what all does this one herb do? But in my clinic, we're just, you see the people that suffer that come in here, and you can see by the comments like Kelly's, I don't mess around. So I don't spend time, well, let's see what this one will do. I just don't have that kind of time right now, and most of you that come in here don't have that kind of time to play around. So it needs to be a bigger scope where the people aren't so serious, even though low white blood cell count is serious, don't get me wrong. But you know, where some experimentation can be one, or where people like yourself, Melanie's playing with nettles and suddenly your white blood cell came out. Not to say that there's a link, but certainly has to be looked at, because of the fact that they were low before you did that and they were normal after you did that. I mean, you know, you're really going to look at that. So I really think that's an incredible thing if this is true again. Let me see what else she's got going on here. She says, and also she has a hard time holding herself to pee. She's had a headache every day on the side of my left ear for 1.5 years. The doctor don't know why, so they did a magnetic x-ray. Of course, didn't find anything. Don't worry about your bad English, sweetheart. Mine ain't so good either. Who cares? So you know what? I'm looking at this, and you know, I'm wondering about pituitary. You got a headache up here. You kind of have a hard time holding urination. That can be pituitary. Could have a link toward the white blood cells, and that nettles could have had an effect upon your pituitary by reducing inflammation of the pituitary, and therefore it allowed the white blood cells to go up. So you correlate these cases, all these different parts when you're working on your friends or you're working on your clients. You want to correlate every single thing your client tells you or about yourself. You want to correlate positions of the body, and then it's easy to understand because we only have a few glands here and a few glands there and an organ here and an organ there. So this is too difficult to really start putting things together here. So this would lead you up into her head area with the pain on this side, real possible pituitary issues here, because that pituitary stem can affect the need to urinate all the time. Have another guy in here, same type of problem. Again, that also could be back to the adrenals and kidneys, of course. That could be a weakness there that's controlling, you know, back to the lymph system suppressing bone marrow. This is where the value of the iris comes in, and maybe I can cut here and get Chris. I wanted to answer this one question, so maybe I'll get Chris in here after a bit, and we'll show you the difference between a true brown eye and a blue eye that's brown. But so anyway, you want to correlate as much of this as you can. In reality, the simplicity of this is that you're going to be able to clean the body head to toe, because this is a holistic, a systemic issue. The body works holistically. You can't just give you something for the liver and just the liver benefit. The body will benefit head to toe. So that's the coolness of this whole thing. And so, but real suspicious here, the pituitary here now, with the white blood cells, with the need to urinate excessively, and the headaches could pull you up here. Now, why would this be happening? Or why would, say you had swelling, and nettles is an anti-inflammatory, so to reduce swelling. It's an alkalizer herb. So high in alkalizing minerals. So what's the problem? That'd be the lymph system, wouldn't it? Blood wouldn't make things swell. Blood doesn't cause inflammation. It's your lymph system. It's acids. So this goes back to, either way, you're going to definitely work on your lymph system. Get your colon cleaned up, work on the stomach and bowel formula, do 2 lymphatic formulas. I'd start with, say, lymphatic 4. Matter of fact, this is where I'm going to take a little time and explain to you, because there's a lot of questions here in regard to that. I'd probably start out with lymphatic 4, and then I would have lymphatic 1 capsules, and then I would also get upper circulation going up in there, and then you could go from there. You could also take a pituitary glandular, or you could in fact use the endocrine gland formula. Chase tree, a great berry for the pituitary, well known for female issues. So that's the line you can go. Of course, with the raw, you want to get up from the vegetables. I mean, I see this in my clients every day. The people that come in here, guy yesterday been raw for 2 years, still has major problems, but most of his diet's been vegetables over fruit. Now, I've been asked about these lymphatic formulas I have. And so let's talk about them for a minute before I go on with other cases. These lymphatic formulas, I'm like a kid in a candy store when I looked at botanicals. It was like, oh my God, here's where the answer is. Of course, all the animals have been using them right along, looking at us going, what's wrong with you guys? So it's like, oh, what a wealth of goodies that doesn't hurt you. This FDA crap, again, someone commented here about getting the ACLU. I've been donating to the ACLU for years, and I have 2 big issues with that. The ACLU needs to go after the IRS for misapplication of the tax laws, and also go after the FDA for the violation of individual rights and things, because and the corruption that you see at the FDA. Even if they're closing down raw milk issues, nobody has the right to block anybody from drinking anything. If you want to kill yourself, hello. I mean, that's your God-given right. I don't care what they say. This idea that they're superior, this is the narcissist system of governments and what's happened here. And the people have kind of added to this. You got some of those righteous people out there that don't understand the rights and freedoms that are afforded. Listen to Ron Paul more and you'll understand how extreme that is. Because we see in some corners we want our freedoms, but then we have to pass a law every time someone has a problem or dies from something, an accident, then we have to pass a law that restricts everybody else, and it's gotten suffocating. And the regulations out of the government is suffocating, and they have no business into the private sector. So this is a big issue, and I concur with this one letter about the need to sue the FDA, but also the IRS. We need to take down some of these people that have been misapplying the tax laws and also been violating people's personal rights to enjoy life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness on this planet. This has got to change, and if it isn't, I think that God's going to wipe some butt here. But these lymphatic formulas, there's so many great lymphatic herbs, and there's so much misinformation about the herbs even. I mean, there's so much crap on herbs. Copycat herb books, even some of the better herbalists have no clue because they don't work in these high clinical settings like I do, where I'm using gallons. I'm using gallons of poke root, bloodroot, chaparral. Oh my God, these are the most toxic herbs. Are they really? I've had babies, I've had people that are in their 90s that were febrile, 80 pounds on them for years. Never saw any liver toxicity, never saw any toxicity, because we do everything together holistically. We're into the raw, we're into the herbs, we're doing everything together, and that power cannot be beat. Because I'm telling you, up at this high level, if we can't get you, and you can't help yourself at these high levels, you're in major, major trouble. And there's no way the allopathic even stands a chance except by surgery. Surgery is the one place that I love good surgeons. I just think they're of great value. But someone here sent an email about their loved one going under the knife and didn't come out of surgery because she bled to death or something. And it's like,